welcome back to the deep dive. So today we're doing something a little different.
A bit, yeah.
We're not diving into, big historical events or economic theory. We're looking at something much, much smaller.
But maybe more revealing in its own way. We're looking at a simple conversation between two people, Emily and Paul.
Exactly. We have this transcript of them just chatting about their weekend, their pets, what they're doing later. And our mission today is to treat this small talk like it's a major piece of research.
To find the patterns,
Yeah.
The little psychological tells hidden in the everyday details. Because what seems mundane on the surface, well, that's often where the most interesting data is.
I think the best way to get into this is to just jump straight to the most memorable anecdote. The whole thing really kicks off with Paul Saturday.
Oh, yes. The great key disaster.
It is a perfect example of a complete cognitive breakdown in the middle of a totally normal day.
It really is a total disruption of his routine.
So Paul Saturday begins,
Yeah.
and he realizes his keys are gone. Not just one set.
No, both. Car keys and house keys. The essentials.
Yeah. And immediately you can see the panic start to build. He does the normal checks first.
Of course, the predictable sequence. You check your pockets, the table, the places they should be.
He lists them out. Pants pockets, coat pockets, the table.
Yeah.
But then he starts expanding the search.
And this is where it gets interesting. He moves on to his work bag, the kitchen,
Yeah.
and even the bathroom.
The bathroom. And crucially, this wasn't just a quick look around.
No.
He says he spent 1 hour searching.
A full hour, and that detail, the specific duration, that's everything. That's not just mild annoyance anymore.
No, that's proper stress, existential stress even. Your keys are, they're your access to the world.
Exactly. And to lose that for an hour, it just sets this tone of anxiety for the rest of his weekend.
So after all that, after turning his apartment upside down, where does he finally find them?
This is the best part. They were in the refrigerator.
The refrigerator.
The refrigerator. He even calls them his cold keys.
You can just see it happening, can't you? He gets home with groceries, probably holding his keys and a carton of milk.
And the brain just goes on autopilot. The routine of putting the milk away completely takes over, and the keys just go with it.
It's a perfect example of what you'd call absent-minded action, right?
A textbook case. The highly practiced routine overrides the conscious thought. And that specific, absurd detail, the fridge, that's what makes a story stick. It tells you he was completely distracted.
Okay, so hold that image. Paul, stressed, holding his cold keys. Now let's contrast that with Emily's Saturday.
It's the perfect counterpoint, isn't it?
Totally. While he's dealing with this mechanical, stressful failure, she's having this very warm, connected day.
A total social success. She's with her family, her mom, dad, and sister Anna.
And they're not just sitting around. The transcript is specific. They cooked lunch together.
Right. And we even get the recipe. Pasta with tomatoes.
Big red sauce, she says. And lots and lots of cheese.
That detail is so telling. It's about comfort, sharing, abundance. It's the complete opposite of Paul's lonely, frustrating search.
So fast forward to Sunday. Paul clearly needs to recover from Saturday's stress.
He needs a reset, yeah.
And his choice of relaxation is, well, it's very revealing. He watched a movie.
And not just any movie. He watched a comedy about a very big, funny dog that could talk.
You can't get more uncomplicated than that, can you?
Not really. It's pure low-stakes escapism.
Right.
When your brain has been fried by that kind of focused stress, a talking dog comedy is like a mental balm.
Right, no complex plot to follow, just simple humor. Emily's Sunday, though, was different.
A very different structure. It was quiet, but it was a mix of things.
She was reading a book, a story about a small town.
Which kind of mirrors that cozy family feeling from the day before, but she didn't just relax.
No, she balanced it with chores. She cleaned her apartment and watered her plants. Her Sunday was about maintaining order.
While Paul's was about recovering from chaos, it's a really sharp contrast in their weekend rhythms.
Okay, let's zoom in on their home lives a bit more, because the details there are just as specific. It starts with pets.
Or the lack of them. Paul says he wants a dog, but he can't have one.
Why?
His apartment is very small.
And that one constraint, the small apartment, it dictates so much. It's not just a detail, it's a defining limitation on his lifestyle.
Which brings us to Emily's pet solution, Leo the cat.
Leo sounds like a real character. We get a description, all black, big green eyes. But that's not the main thing about Leo.
No, the main thing about Leo is that he is incredibly lazy.
I love this part. She says he just sleeps all day. He rotates between the sofa, the bed, and the chair.
He's the ultimate low-maintenance companion. He's just there, a presence. She says she talks to him, but he's always sleeping.
It's the perfect urban pet, isn't it? He fits the space and he fits the lifestyle. No walking, no barking.
Right. And if Paul's small apartment prevents him from getting a dog, Emily's choice of a lazy cat is this perfectly calibrated response to the same kind of spatial limit.
But the cat isn't her only domestic companion.
Not at all. This is where we get to the plants.
Her apartment is described as being like a jungle.
Which is such a great image. It suggests she's actively cultivating this indoor ecosystem. She can't have a big yard or a big dog, so she fills her space with life in another way.
The details are great. Big plants, small plants. They're on the table, on the floor, by the window, everywhere.
And this connects right back to her Sunday routine. Watering that jungle is her specific job. Every single Sunday. It's a ritual.
So these details, the small apartment, the lazy cat, the plant jungle, they're not random. They paint this really clear picture of how they're each adapting to modern urban life.
Exactly. They're making deliberate choices and trade-offs.
Let's move on to their social plans for tonight, for Tuesday. Paul's meeting up with a friend.
His friend David. And he specifies that David is an old school friend.
Which again, it just adds a little layer of detail. It shows he values those long-term connections.
And they're going to a new pizza restaurant. So it's a mix of the familiar and old friend with a bit of novelty.
And this leads to maybe my favorite part of the whole conversation, their pizza preferences.
It's surprisingly revealing.
So Paul, what's his go-to pizza?
He likes pepperoni and maybe mushroom. It's a classic, but it's complex. Multiple strong, savory flavors. It's a bold choice.
Okay. And Emily?
Emily is the complete opposite, just cheese.
Just cheese. She says it's simple and delicious.
And you can draw a straight line from this back to their weekends, can't you? Paul deals with stress, reads complex history books, likes a complex pizza.
While Emily values comfort, family, simple routines, and the simple perfection of a cheese pizza.
Their choices are just. They're so consistent with the personalities they've revealed.
All right, let's look ahead to their plans for the next weekend. Because again, the patterns just keep showing up.
They really do. Paul's plan is all about him, about personal enrichment. But it depends on one thing.
The weather. It has to be good weather. That's the condition.
Which shows how much he values that connection to the outdoors, to the environment.
So if the weather is good, he wants to go to the park. Not just for a walk, though. He has a very specific goal.
He wants to see the autumn colors, the red, yellow, and orange trees. It's not just exercise, it's a mindful sensory experience.
But that's only half of it. Because while he's on this relaxing, nature-focused walk, he's also taking a book with him.
And it's not a light read. It's a long book about history.
That's such a great juxtaposition, isn't it? The physical relaxation of walking in the park paired with this really serious intellectual challenge.
It shows a mind that needs both. It needs the beauty of nature, but it also craves that deep, structured knowledge. It's a different kind of escape.
Now, compare that to Emily's weekend. Hers isn't driven by her own interests, really.
No, it's driven by an external social obligation, a big one.
She must go shopping. It's not a choice. She has to find a new dress.
And the reason is that her friend is getting married next month, so this is a major social event looming on the horizon.
And even here, we get a little detail. She's hoping to find a nice blue dress.
Maybe blue, yeah. It's a specific goal, but it's flexible. But the key thing is the motivation.
Right. Paul's plans are for his own enjoyment and education.
Whereas Emily's plans are about fulfilling a social duty. It's about her role in her friend's life. These two plans perfectly capture those two big drivers of human behavior. What we do for ourselves and what we do for others.
So we've gone from lost keys to lazy cats to pizza preferences, and it all weaves together.
It does. We started with what looked like just chat. And we found these really clear recurring patterns. How stress affects memory, how our living space shapes our choices, how our social roles dictate our plans.
The details are always where the story is. The cold keys, the talking dog movie, the Sunday plant watering ritual. Those are the data points that build the whole picture.
And that's really the point of a deep dive like this. It shows that any conversation, no matter how casual, is packed with these defining insights if you know how to look for them.
So let's end by going back to that first, most absurd detail. Paul putting his keys in the refrigerator. We've talked about what it says about him, but let's turn it around to you, the listener.
Yeah, a little self-observation challenge.
If your own life is run by these kinds of autopilot routines, what's your keys in the fridge moment going to be this week?
What's that one small, specific, totally absurd detail that will somehow perfectly capture your own routine when it goes just a little bit sideways?
See if you can spot it when it happens.